Hello and welcome to my presentation on thalassemia. So first of all, what is thalassemia? Well, it's a blood disorder that is caused when the body doesn't make enough hemoglobin in the red blood cells. It involves a mutation in the DNA, which consequently gets passed down to its offspring and then that offspring's offspring. And hemoglobin molecules are made of what are called alpha chains and beta chains. And in thalassemia, the production of either the alpha chain or the beta chain are reduced, resulting in alpha thalassemia or beta thalassemia respectively, as you can see by the diagram I've provided over here. Also, important to note is the number of mutations, which affects the severity of thalassemia, which one of the mutations may result in mild or trait thalassemia, which is what I have consequently. My dad has trait and I also have trait. 2 or 3 mutations being moderate and severe in either case of alpha or beta thalassemia, which we'll see. So what do these abnormal versus normal situations look like? Well, in your normal situation, you would have these kinds of red blood cells looking type in this figure. There would be, in this figure as you see here, there's a normal amount of red blood cells, and they have what is to be the expected shape of these red blood cells, this like sort of flat donut spherical shape. And they have a healthy level of hemoglobin, which as you'll see in the thalassemic red blood cells, there is a fewer amount, not really shown this much in this diagram, but just important to note, there are a fewer amount of red blood cells, making those who are thalassemic, anemic, depending on the severity of their thalassemia. And if you notice here, the red blood cells are actually pretty misshapen, and there is actually less hemoglobin per red blood cell. So symptoms. We know how it's inherited. We know how thalassemia affects the red blood cells and hemoglobin. But what does this look like on a broader scale to a person living with this disorder? Well, first of all, it can present in fatigue, and again, depending on whether or not you're very severe or not, or just asymptomatic like I am, you may experience some mild fatigue or a severe fatigue, depending on, again, the severity of your symptoms. You may also experience growth problems or a delayed puberty, even to bone or abnormalities such as osteoporosis, an enlarged spleen, jaundice, or discolored urine, which takes the form of some sort of tea or dark color urine. So what is the cure or treatment for thalassemia? Well, as of current, there is no end-all be-all cure. However, there are some treatments that research shows has helped some people out. First of all, and perhaps the most obvious, is blood transfusion, as people with thalassemia aren't really getting as much oxygen to different parts of their bodies, which sort of affects the symptoms that I displayed. So it would be sort of logical, you would follow that that person would need more blood. First, and continuing down the list, we have iron chelation. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if not. Folic acid supplements, or bone marrow or stem cell transplant. And this procedure down here, I'm not even going to try to attempt to pronounce. However, they have some success in this procedure, I've read. For advanced research, I was looking at a certain case last year in about August 7th. I linked it in my reference page, so if you want to go see more about that study, you are welcome to do so. But according to the U.S. and Drug Administration, the FDA recently approved the first ever cell-based gene therapy for thalassemia patients. And according to the article I found, it extends to not only adults but pediatric patients as well, which is very beneficial. However, it only really sort of went along with the beta variant and not the alpha patients. So, looking forward to see advancements in the future. And yeah, those are my references. And thank you for listening to my presentation.